Hey people, I just posted this, I just shared this on my Facebook, and I'll try to figure out how to leave a link underneath so you can go to it if you haven't seen it. It's not real new, I know I've seen it before somewhere, but this guy sets this panel of doctors up, about the jab, and he tells some of the news that's been going around before it, and they answer it, not like you would expect. It don't sound like what any other doctors are telling you. And so right now, there's a bunch of people are saying, what is wrong with people? Why don't they follow the science, And then all those people are saying, what is wrong with people? Why are they being led around like sheep? And the answer's right here, it's how. And, they've changed the word how for woe, but this plainly says how. How to those who join house to house, field to field, they add till no place, and where they may dwell alone in the midst of the land. And so none of that's correct. And I'm going to show you how this reads. But that last movie I did, it looks like this. And I read these top 7 lines, this poem in it, and then showed you how some of these other words have been changed. It's one of the longer movies that I did lately, but I think it's not going over real well because it's long. But it was really easy to read this, I believe, is why I did that. The wash it to battle, and it's talking about the laundry. And I believe I hit the word Gog while I was reading there somewhere. Gog. I explained Gog and Magog real quick. This is Magog, M-G-G. And this is where your word Magi come from. The magicians, they called them, the Magi. And so Gog means to lead. And Magog is M is from lead. And so this first word, is how, and this is the way we would pronounce this, and it's actually the why, E the and then W-I-Y, which is an ancient English word, and it means how or who, and it's the how, and so what it's saying is, you ask when it's just how, it means how you're asking the question. And then when you put the how in there, it's giving the answer. This means answer. This is the answer of the how. The how from Gog. The how from lead. It's where your word synagogue come from. The Gog in there means to lead. And so where this how comes from is in the definition of the word here in the letter meanings. And people call this a Hebrew letter meaning chart. And it's not Hebrew. Hebrew is the twist in the language. This was all the ancient Phoenician letter meaning chart, or the Aryan letter, the block style Aryan. Hebrew only came when they started putting the dots and all the twist in there that I teach how to read. But how means E, the, and then Vav is connected. And it means to connect. It's a valve pin that holds your wheel on. And then Yod is the I, the work. That's the why, the why. And so how does something get done? The connected work. Nothing just gets done. Somebody had the wage. You see the same word when I talk about wage. The same word when it says, and God said, and there was yeehaw and vaya, go do the work. It's the same words, the work, the connected work is how things get done. And so the Magi here is from Gog. There's 2 G's, the dot in there, from Gog, from lead, and to those who, the Magi, and join, J-O-I-N. You see right here, Yod is the I-Y or J, J-O-I-N. Not N, but B means in. The joy in. Oh, if there's happy in it, boy, it's easy to get them to follow you house to house. But, our word joy has been twisted too. And so it's, from Gog, from lead to make see work. So this is how from lead to make see work. In it, B-N-I-T, in it. Invite, B and V. See, the B is ba or in, and the V doesn't have the dot, and it's va or in. And so it's invite, in V-Y-T, in V-I-T, invite. In it, invite. How from lead, joy in it, invite. Side by side, we go together. And make free, F-R-I, make free into. Vav means connected. When something's connected, it's two. It's not two when it's away, but when it's connected, it's two. And make free into. And how from lead, joy in it. Invite side by side, make free in who. So what we need to do, we need to make ourselves free side by side, and it's going to tell us how. And then O-D, and you could pronounce this as had, to see through, as whoever's to see through, whoever has it, had. Had appease is the way people were reading this. Had appease, appease, to make him happy, appease him. But appease is the ancient bull deity of Appease, ancient Egypt, highly regarded, the most important and highly regarded bull deity of ancient Egypt. Original name, Appease, happy, Appease. And somebody had posted a movie just yesterday, the Egyptologist, about an hour or something long, and he talked about Appease. And he talked about the sacred bull, how aliens had left the bull here, and the people were instructed to take care of him. Appease the bull, make him happy. And then there was a group of people that had cut him up, and after they had left, and he thinks that's what they found when they found a whole bunch of bones in some huge caskets. And so the Egyptologists, they don't know how to read all this either. You can see here, with the unknown final vowel. But you can see in these three, what they have in common is just, the P, S, peas, the P's, and this is the Vav connected, the P's to peas. And this is the H or the Chet. And it's, this Appease.
In old Egypt, an animal was known, which was called the Appease. Appease is written by all the historians. Herodotus, Theodore, Plato, Plutarch, they all write about Appease. What is Appease? Appease was a bull, but was a holy bull. Appease was a holy bull. In old Egypt, they had absolutely normal bulls, like every bull. Bulls who make sex with the cows. But Appease not. In the literature, Herodotus say, Appease was not created by a sexual interact. Appease was created by the god Ptah. Ptah made Appease with his meaning, not with the sexual contact. Appease was different to the other bulls. Appease had a star on his front. He had something special on his tongue. He had a different spell, fur, etc.
And he was pictured with the sun disk symbol of his mother. The sun disk symbol of his mother. And so that's kind of opposite than everybody else teaches us in the alchemy. And I've been questioning that just lately, especially when you look at the word mother, where it came up in a couple lines before this, because its M is from and thermal. That's where your word thermal, warm, comes from the thermal, the warm mother sun. And how he got to here, he was talking about this jet pillar.
These objects are called jet pillar.
Jet pillar?
Jet pillar. In official Egyptology, then jet fire, jet pillar. You see, you find them all over. You find them small.
And it looks just like the old letter S. And you see this one looks just like the headdress of Appease.
In official Egyptology, there are 12 different explanations what it should be.
In this picture here, you see that, this would be the Jed pillar, and that symbol was on top of it. So being that this starts with an A, it would read backwards. And it doesn't have the tack here to read it backwards and then forwards. And so people wouldn't know that it said Appease here unless you knew this symbol underneath here. And so this symbol here, when you're reading this this S, this looks just like the Jed pillar. You see it in a lot of the old letters. This is what they call Old Hebrew, but it's Old Paleo Hebrew, but it's not. It's just Old Paleo Phoenician. But a lot of languages had this very similar. You see it here in this Old Paleo, and these are similar. It's the same and similar. And it later evolved and it looked like this block style Aryan S. But these come from Samaritan, Old Aramaic. So the story goes that after Alexander's death, Ptolemy made efforts to integrate the Egyptian religion with that of the Hellenic rulers. And so they weren't fond of all the animal gods, and so they wanted to put a human face on there. This is where you get your word pothead appease, pothead hippies. And so they redrew it up and give it a new name, Asar Api. Asar is Osiris. Osiris Appease. Osirapes. And that came to be, just Serapes. And so his mother is the sun. And he was created by the gods, not by sexual intercourse. So Serapes, that would be SR. And so the S is the support, the secret, or support is what that letter stands for. It's the S, the Samic, and it's a prop to hold up, and the secret, the support. And then Serapes would be R, the support the head of Appease. And yeah, they didn't like the animal-headed gods, and so they changed it to human-headed gods, to Serapes, support the head of Appease. But the P is they say is the mouth, but the pi is the mouth. The P is the face. P-E, pay. A pay is a face. And so this would be, support the face Appease. From fuse. Usually they have this as from fume. And usually they say that means to rise up. But it's from fuse. Means to connect together. It only means to rise up when they have an E after it. Then it's fume. And fumes rise. But this is from fuse. And to support the face of Appease from fuse. So I talked about this mark in the past couple movies. I figured it out in the Greek. And I just now noticed it in the Hebrew. And it helps fix these words. And so when you see it, it means... The A means you're reading from the other end first. So you're reading it this way. And then it means to read back this way and then go to this end of the word. If it was in the middle of the word, you would go all the way back this end and read up to it and then backwards again. And so this is reading in to make free end wood, W-O-D, in wood, support the face, appease, power, the A, the God letter, the P's God, from fuse. And so that kind of twists that story up there, because that means this Isaiah would have come after Alexander, would have came, in Ptolemy or later. It wasn't until after Alexander's death that Ptolemy is the one that did that. And so they say that prophecies of Isaiah from the 8th century BC. But they say Alexander and Ptolemy was in the 4th century BC, so their math isn't adding up for that. Support the face appease, from fuse to who sieve it is, the one who receives it. Love did cause, 2 D's, the love did cause before in hearts, Hearts. And so it sounds like that's Jesus, and how from lead to joy in it invite side by side, make free into inward supporting face appease from fuse, from the ancient Jesus, from the supporting face appease, from fuse, from connect, the fuse together, to who sieve it is. And he who receives it, love did cause. The love did cause before in hearts. And then the next word, bazang, Z-N-I, zing, bazang. You hear Shelton say that, bazanga. So for anybody who just watched all this and thinks I'm full of shit, this is what the old cross used to look like that they tried to ban. It's the good old Lord Appease cross. And so when I read this, I try to stay with the system and I try to keep everything going that system. But if you click on this word, it comes up 44 times and 11 times with this same spelling. And they say it means nevertheless, but, only, will only, however, save, notwithstanding, however, is no, are worthless, is in thee and there, and is none else, there is no. They have no idea what it means. They change up every time, but it might just mean saving. And that's kind of like what that line just said. And if you click on the number, it'll give you the list of all the similar spellings that they say is the same word. Nevertheless, only. It'll give you all of their meanings here in red. The ends. There is not, however, howbeit, nor, without, in a list of 44 different meanings. But in the dearth, in the want of the people, for lack, who from Gog, who from lead joy in it, invite side by side, make free in would sap appease, from fuse the face, to sieve it is, love did cause. This cause is the same thing as come, to fold from. The love did fold from. The love did come, the love did cause. In foreign hearts, before in hearts, in foreign hearts, however you want to read it. So it sounds like an ancient old con game, but we have to appease the gods. But we're not going to appease no animal gods. We'll put a new face on him and make free into add a support face appease from fuse him a new face on there. And who sieve it is. And the one who sieve it is love did cause in foreign hearts. Put a new face on appease, and it caused the love in the foreign, in the Greeks, in the Romans' hearts, in the foreign hearts, and all is love appease. And the con goes on. So I lose subs every time I say this. I don't care. I'm going to say it again. Every religion who worships anything besides us here on earth, the life, yourself, any religion waiting on some other God to come fix things, you are the problem. And I hope you go get you a COVID shot, and you can have mine too.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.